Hey everyone, welcome back. So please ignore my sleepy face and my crazy hair. It is morning. Well, it's not that early, but I feel like I've been hit by a bus. Eddie and I were working our butts off outside yesterday. And so I'm sore and I was just laying in bed as long as I could. I just made my latte. I've only had a few sips, so if I stumble on my words, that's why. But I just kind of wanted to update you a little bit. Things have been pretty busy here, exciting things happening, and just go, go, go. Springtime is a pretty busy time, at least for us. So just trying to catch up on life. Like, my house is such a mess. Everyone's doing their Easter spring cleaning, and I'm like, yeah, I haven't gotten to that yet. Maybe that'll happen after spring. But at least things are happening outside. And sorry if you hear Mia walking around, she's just pacing back and forth. I just wanted to kind of catch you up, and I've been recording clips here and there on my phone, on the camera, and it's just been kind of, things have been dragging on for so long that I've just been like, do I even post these clips because it's been so long, or do I just move on? But I want to share them because they're exciting things that have been happening. So where do I start? So my dad was here last week, the week before. He was here for about a week and a half. So that was so nice to have him here. It was honestly like sad and hard, him coming alone with my mom, because usually they'll always come together. I mean, there have been times when they've come separately, but still usually they'd come together. So just to see my dad come by himself, it was just like, it's hard. But I'm so glad he was able to come here, spend some time with us, and just kind of, change of scenery, because he's home alone. I mean, we have family there too, but still, it was nice, I think, for him to kind of come here and spend some time here. And we loved having him here. So that's kind of, when he was here, it was just go, 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 like nonstop. I didn't even record, I don't think, anything, maybe just a couple clips on my phone. But just trying to just be present and be there with him, or spend time with him. But before that, so we have something really exciting. So this has been something I've been wanting for a while, and Eddie and I were kind of going on back and forth, like, is this something we're going to do, or are we crazy? Just because, like, there's always an excuse. Like, you want to do something, there's always an excuse. Well, maybe it's not the right time. Well, maybe when we get a different house, maybe this, maybe that. And it's just something that kind of happened. And so we actually got chickens. Well, we got baby chicks, and originally we were like, okay, we're not gonna get, I've always wanted baby chicks, but like started from chicks, but then we're like, okay, we'll just get like grown chickens that are ready to lay or about to lay, and not deal with the little chick phase. And I wanted to deal with it, but I was like, I don't know. We were going back and forth. And at first Eddie was like, no way, like, we don't have that much land here at this house. And, I agreed with him. I've always wanted our dream or our goal is to one day get a house with a lot more land. And we've been looking, but right now with the house market, you guys know things are crazy. So anyway, I feel like I'm dragging this out, but I just want to give you kind of an idea of what we've been dealing with or going through. And I think little by little, I was planting those seeds in his mind. And some days he'd come home from work and bring home like pieces of scrap wood. And he's like, I brought home some wood. Maybe we could use this for a chicken coop. And I was like, what? Like, is he serious? And so then little by little, I honestly don't even remember how it came about, but I can't remember if we got the chicks first or if we started building the chicken coop first. And honestly, I was just kind of going through like a rough a rough time. Like, I go through moments like with my mom. Like, there's times where, I mean, I think about her all the time. Everything reminds me of her. Everything I do, everything like I see, like I'm like, oh, mom would like this, or mom would do it this way, or like it's just, it's a constant. I'm thinking about it constantly. I don't know why I'm tearing up. But there's days or weeks where it's harder than others, and so anyway, I don't know where I'm going with this. But how did it happen? I think I'm trying to remember if we started building the chicken coop first. Oh, okay. Now I remember. It was just so exciting. I forgot. I found chickens that we were going to purchase, like almost ready to lay, so like grown chickens. And I told Eddie, I said, well, we need a chicken coop. So we were like, okay, we got to build a chicken coop. In my mind, I'm like, we're just going to screw together, 4 or 5 pieces of plywood, put a roof on it. It's going to be quick and easy. Well, Eddie's really good at building things. And so, again, in my mind, I'm like, we're just going to screw this together. But, there's a little bit more logic to it than that. And so he started building it, and I was like, ooh, maybe this isn't going to be done in a couple days. And then there was rain, and anyway, so those chickens that I wanted to get, they were sold by that time. And so then we were already in the process of building a coop, and I ended up just, I think, calling around. Oh, we went to Tractor Supply. I was like, let's just go in and see what they have. And we walked in, and they didn't have any chicks. They didn't even have like the thing set up for them. And I was like, okay, that's weird. I know they had them last year. What's going on? Like, everyone else's Tractor Supply has chicks. And so I didn't ask them anything about it. And we came home, and I just called around a couple places, and we found like a local hardware store. Well, it's not that local. It's like maybe 30, 45 minutes away. And they had chicks. So we went there. We had nothing for them. We didn't have a brooder box. We didn't have a heat lamp. We didn't have food. Nothing. We just went full force. We went in there. I got the cutest 3 little chicks. We bought the heat lamp there. We bought their food. Bought pine shavings. Everything we needed. We just didn't have like the brooder box. And at first we put them in like this plastic bin. We came home. That's where we put them at first. And then Eddie built me a really nice brooder box. We have that currently standing in our office. So that really was so exciting for me. And it was just one of those things like, wow, we just did it. Like, and I feel like we do that with a lot of things in our life. Not maybe a lot of things, but like, I feel like it's a big decision because now you're stuck with them. It's not just like, oh, here's a toy. I'm done playing with it. Let me put it back on the shelf. Like, no, this is you're caring for them. It's a live animal, and so it is. I feel like it is a big commitment. They're not that hard to take care of, but again, it's still something you need to care for and look after and make sure they're fed and have water and things like that. And so again, we've been thinking about it for a while, but we just did it. Like, it wasn't like, oh, let's go look at these chicks and then let's go look at these. We walked in. We're like, nope, we're getting these. We came home. And they were just the cutest little things. It was just, anyway. And I was like, okay, I want to get some more. And again, at this point, we were still planning on getting older chickens, like, again, ready to lay. And then someone I follow on Instagram posted that a different, this was a couple days or weeks later, that a different hardware store had some chicks. And so we walked into there, and I got 3 more chicks. So now we have 6. They're not really chicks anymore. They're in the teenager stage. And that's why I so badly wanted to post, like, as we got them, I wanted to post things on Instagram. But I was like, well, I kind of want it to be a surprise. And then I'm like, a surprise for who? Like, like, not everyone cares about chickens or chicks as much as I do. But it was just so exciting for me that I wanted to kind of make a whole video about it. But anyway, so yeah, we have 6 teenager chickens. They are so cute. Our coop is almost done. That's another thing we've been working on. Eddie's been home for a few days, and the weather's been amazing. And so I don't know if you could hear them. They're really going at it. But the weather's been amazing, and so we've been outside trying to get that done, while at the same time trying to get the garden ready and prep that. And then yesterday, This is how crazy. I have such a big problem with this. It's like, you know, when you start cleaning something in your house and you're like, oh, let me bring this shirt into the bedroom. And you walk into the bedroom, you start cleaning your bedroom. And then you realize, oh, let me just throw in the laundry. You go in the laundry room and then you start cleaning. So that's kind of what happens to me outside. Like, I'll start a project and be like, oh, let me just put mulch over here. Well, let me weed before I put the mulch down. And then, oh, this part of the deck or the shed is like kind of falling apart. I need Eddie to put a board here. So he screws in a board. And then I can't put the mulch there because I need to paint that board. And it's just, it's never ending. And so that's kind of what happened yesterday. And I was like, oh, I don't have enough room in the garden. I really need to plant potatoes, but I feel like I don't have enough room in the garden. Maybe we could try planting them like in the ground because I just have raised beds. And so I was like, in my head, I was like, I'm just gonna till like a small little section and we'll try planting the potatoes there. And then maybe we could put pumpkins there in the fall. And so we started tilling and it ended up being a huge square. It's like almost the size of the garden that I have now, a little bit smaller. And it's just all in ground. And so Eddie looked at me, he's like, wait, I thought you were just gonna do a small section. And I was like, oops, it just happened. And so it's exciting, but I just need to sit down and plan it out because my problem is like, I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna put this here. And when it comes time to it, I'm just sticking plants wherever they'll fit because I don't have enough room and I wanna, you know, use as much space as possible. But yeah. So I hope it's not too much talking, but I just kind of wanted to catch you up on what has been going on. And I've been wanting to, I recorded clips here and there, but it's just been go. Been trying to get as much done as possible. That it takes time to set up the camera and try to get every clip and every piece of the process. So I didn't do like a full-on, or I'm not going to do a full-on video on us building the coop because we didn't really draw a plan. Like we watched 1 or 2 YouTube videos just to kind of get an idea. We looked at, oh my goodness. Geez, sorry, they're really going at it. We looked at some coops at Tractor Supply. And when I saw the kind of coops they sell there, like those little small cheap ones, I was just like, okay, like I feel good about our coop. Because at one point I was like, are we doing this wrong? Or like, are we just piecing it together with what we have? Because again, we didn't want to go out and buy all new things and spend a lot of money on this coop. Eddie had some material already at home. We did end up going and buying like hardware and a metal roof, things like that we didn't have. But as far as like most of the wood, most of it we had, we did buy some things. And so we didn't really have a plan. We didn't draw it. I told Eddie, because again, we just went in for full force. He was like, you want to build a coop? Okay, let's go. And I was like right now? And he was like, yeah, let's go. And I was like, okay. I said, do you want to sit down and draw it out? He's like, no, we'll just go with it. And I was like, okay. So that's basically what we did. And along the way, we would stop. He'd be like, how do you want this? And I'm like, I don't know. Let me look on Pinterest. So I'd look at Pinterest pictures, be like, okay, I like this. I want it like this. Doing projects or building things with Eddie is seriously just such a blessing. Like, he's just so easygoing. Anything I should say anything I want. Basically anything I want, or he'll make it work or figure it out. We're almost done with the coop. We have just basically on the bottom we have to add a little bit more of fencing, hardware cloth. I don't know what to call it. We just have a couple more pieces to add, and then I think that's pretty much it. There's a couple like cosmetic things, like we have to add a couple more strips of like framing, like wood on the outside to cover where we stapled the fencing or hardware cloth. I don't know what it's called, honestly. Other than that, it's pretty much done. So during the day, we have been having some amazing weather. So during the day, the chicks are almost fully feathered. So I've been bringing them outside. They've been playing in the coop. I just sectioned it off because the door wasn't, we finally put the door in yesterday, and again some of the fencing wasn't up, so I just kind of sectioned it off with a piece of wood so they wouldn't get out. But they're getting big. They get so excited because their brooder is not that big. I mean, it's a decent size, but they're getting bigger to the point where they want more room. So anytime I bring them outside, they get so excited, they start flying, and like they'll just, you could tell they're like, they love being outside. So I'm just waiting until it warms up just a little bit more, and I'll take them outside. And yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I missed. My plants are doing pretty good. I planted most of my flowers outside, and I'm sorry I didn't film that process. I know that was my goal this year. I was like, okay, that's it. I'm just gonna film every part of it just so I can keep it almost as a diary for myself. And I love watching videos of people doing that too. And they're like, oh, this is boring. I'm like, no, it's not boring. I could watch you plant all day. It's just, and I don't know. I was like, okay, I just need to get these in the ground. Is one of those things too. I was like, okay, I have like 10 minutes right now. Eddie doesn't need my help. The weather's nice. Let me just stick a couple of these flowers in with the rest of my flowers. And it was like bits and pieces like that every day. It's not like I had a nice, calm planting day where today I was like, okay, I'm going to go plant my flowers outside. It was like, no, okay, I have 10 minutes. I'm just going to stick them in wherever there's room and hope for the best. And that's my tomatoes and cucumbers I haven't planted out. My peppers did horrible this year. I don't know if it was my seeds, so I tried planting them twice or 3 times. And I think I only had like 2 plants come up out of what felt like 50 seeds that I planted. And so I went ahead and ordered all new seeds and replanted those, and those are doing pretty good. They're still little, which I was hoping my plants would be a lot bigger. Last year I had great success with peppers. I think it was my best year yet. So I was really looking forward to this year, and it's not too bad. And I was so tempted to just go and get already plant starts at the nursery, and I was like, no, I have all these seeds, I'm just going to do it. So they're still little babies, but at least they came up, so hoping I could at least get some peppers this year. But again, with the whole new section that we tilled, I'm like, there's so many things. I'm like, okay, do I plant some tomatoes and peppers out here too, just to see if they do better in the ground or in the raised beds? And again, the options are endless, and I'm just like, it's a little overwhelming, you know. Like yesterday at one point, Eddie was tilling, and I sat there and I was just looking, and I was like, what did I just do? Like, oh my goodness, I know this is gonna be a lot more work for me, but it's exciting. Like, I enjoy that. I love being outside. This is, I feel like, the season where you crash at the end of the night. Like in the winter time, sometimes I have trouble falling asleep at night, just because, I don't know, I just lay there and I'm like, okay, like, but at summer, I feel like after being outside all day and physically working, it's just like, I'm like, okay, in the evening when it's dark, I'm gonna come inside, clean the kitchen, I'll prep food for tomorrow, and I'm like, there's no way. You shower and I just crash. Like, I sleep so good. I'm just very thankful for this wonderful weather we've been having. I think it might have rained a little bit last night, I'm not sure. But yeah, I really want to plant my tomatoes and cucumbers outside. They really need to get planted out. They're getting pretty big. April 15th was considered our last frost date, but a lot of people say you wait until after Easter, like, just to be safe, wait until after Easter. So I'm like, do I risk it? I mean, I could always cover them, but again, that's more work, so we'll see. I'm like, you know what? It's probably going to be, well, it is going to be after Easter, because Easter is this Sunday, so yeah, it's going to be after Easter. But yeah, there's so many things I want to do, and that's what yesterday too, I just sat there at the end of the night. I was just looking at everything, and I told Eddie, I said, there's so much I want to do, but I just physically am just like dead. Like, I was just so tired yesterday, and I'm just so thankful. And in the moment too, I was like, you know why? You know what? This is why our parents and grandparents never went to the gym. They never worked out, or they never worried about that, because they busted their butts outside in the garden and in the fields, and they worked hard, and they didn't need any gym, because let me tell you, my whole body is sore. Muscles are hurting in places I didn't even know they existed. So if you want to get a good workout, just go till some dirt, shovel some manure. I love springtime. And then at times it gets sad, because I miss my mom so much, and I wish she was here to see my garden. And I don't know, it gets tough at times, but I'm just thankful, like I said before, that she's not in pain anymore, she's not suffering, and so that's what kind of keeps me going. And I'm like, okay, she's in a better place now, but it's just, she was just like my go-to with everything. Whew, I didn't think I would cry, but it's just going to be my first year gardening without her, and so that's the hard part. Like, I would always share my excitement or send her pictures like, oh, look, my first tomato, or Mom, how do you plant these cucumbers again? What's the best way? Or, you know, like any little thing, I would call her. It was just like she was my go-to for advice, for excitement, for when I was sick, I would call her. Like, you know, just my best friend. And so that's been a little hard. But I know she's looking down from heaven, and so she sees everything, and that's even better. But, whew, sorry. I didn't think I was going to tear up there. But yeah, so enough talking. Again, I just wanted to update you, and hopefully from here on out, I'm not even gonna say it because I say it, but then I never do it. But from here on out, hopefully I can kind of keep up with things, and I just need to not overthink it and overcomplicate it, and not be like, okay, this needs to be a perfectly beautiful video, and just kind of whatever I get, just post. Because again, I like watching those videos when they're too like edited and too whimsical, and I'm like, oh, that's beautiful. But I like watching the raw videos of people just taking their phone camera outside with them and be like, hey, this is what I'm planting today, this is what I'm doing, and I'm like, yes, that's what I like. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching my videos, for supporting me. I hope that throughout these videos I encourage you, or maybe just get your mind off of things. Like I've said before, I know for me, when I'm going through a tough time or when I need to get my mind off of things, watching YouTube videos is kind of therapeutic for me. I mean, gardening is the most therapeutic, I would say, but you know, sometimes even just for encouragement, when I feel down, I'll watch someone planting something or someone cleaning their house, and it gives me that motivation. I'm like, okay, I can do this. Like, I'll get up and start cleaning, or I'll go outside and start doing something outside, you know? So I hope my videos do that for you, and I hope you enjoy them. And again, I know they're not perfect, I'm sorry, but that's just kind of how I am. I'm not perfect, and I just want to share the raw, the real, the honest, the unperfect moments, but share my excitement and my little glimpses of my life with you. Hope you guys have a wonderful Easter, spending time with your families or whatever you'll be doing. I know I'm looking forward to spending time with my family and just enjoying this time and trying to cherish this time that we have, because many others out there aren't able to have this. So I just feel very blessed and thankful. And thank you for coming along. I will see you all next time.